For we do not wrestle against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this age, against spiritual hosts of wickedness in the heavenly places. Guys, the great invasion has already begun. I am so excited to talk about this. So guys, as you know, of what this past Sunday was Palm Sunday. And I love the story of Palm Sunday. It actually might be one of my favorite things in Bible prophecy to ever be fulfilled. And there's many reasons for it, but I wanted to almost just do a podcast episode for you guys to kind of just tell you what it's about. Because I think there's some significant things about Palm Sunday that people don't know. I'm going to tell you guys to go and read this and fact check me for yourself, because I think that is the best possible thing you could do. But I'm going to tell you, here are my thoughts on the greatest invasion of all time. It's genius. I'm going to start with this quote, though. A man named Charlie Kirk once said, there's two books in the Bible that Satan hates the absolute most. The first one being Genesis, because it shows all of his schemes on how he deceives man. And then Revelation, because it describes his doom. Now, if you go to Matthew chapter 4, it gives you the story of Jesus fasting and going into the wilderness. You can also find this in Luke 4. And there's something I really want to point out about this. Jesus is tempted 3 times, and he responds with 3 different scriptures out of showing us how to battle Satan. But this is kind of cool. There's one thing that's super important. I want to point out when Jesus was brought up to the top on a tall mountain, and he was shown the dominions of the world, everything in it. Satan looked at him and said, "Bow down and worship me, and I will give you all these things." And Jesus obviously responded with, "Away with thee, Satan, for as it is written, you shall worship the Lord your God, and him only you shall serve." And then it said the Satan fled. But do you know what Jesus didn't do in both of the accounts in Luke chapter 4 and Matthew 4? He did not deny it. He recognized Satan has dominion on this earth. But Palm Sunday is a fascinating day. And the reason being is the day of Daniel chapter 9 being partially fulfilled. The 70 weeks of Daniel. It is 77-year periods. And now I'm going to tell you this about this. The first 69 periods of 7, if you multiply that, you get the number 483. And what's super cool about that is that from that moment that prophecy was given to them, or given to the prophet Daniel, from that moment, 483 years later, Jesus gets on a colt and walks in to the temple. And people are screaming, "Hosanna, Hosanna in the highest." Hosanna translates to save me, Lord, save us. And I absolutely love Palm Sunday. It's so interesting to me because there are people, for the first time, Jesus accepts public worship from everybody. And that's really cool because Jesus recognized who has dominion on earth. Jesus obviously has power here too. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that whatsoever, but I'm saying this at this point in time, Satan's kingdom is here. Yet Jesus came in and the invasion started. Save us, Lord, save us. And it says when he went into the temple that there is this thing going on with the religious leaders. They were saying, like, what? This is heresy. They were all mad about what's going on. And I'm paraphrasing the story. You guys can go and read it in the Gospel of Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. It's incredible. The triumphal entry. But this is where it gets really interesting, guys. It's because when Jesus was there, what ended up happening was so significant because Jesus said, "I wanted to gather you guys, like you're missing out on what I had for you. You guys knew the scriptures, but you have not responded to what I am showing you guys. I have told you guys when I was going to be coming in, and you guys were not watching." Yet, Jesus says, "I wish I could be like a mother hen and gather my chicks into my arms. I wish you guys would not miss this because you guys won't see this again." But it will happen one more time. That was the first time Jesus entered into the temple. It happened again. It will happen again, I guess is what I should say. As prophesied in the book, in the Old Testament, Zechariah, chapter 14. And I'm going to encourage you to go and read it. It's I think it's the coolest chapter in the Bible because it is called, if you had to give it the heading would be the great day of the Lord, the invasion, the day where Jesus sits on his throne here on earth forever. And that is going to be awesome. Talks about Jesus stepping foot down on the Mount Olives. And if you go back to the book of Acts, when Jesus arose and went into heaven, and the disciples were all like, whoa, like what happened? Like where is he? And they were marveled. And it said that a voice came down from heaven and told them, like, my people, or my guys, my brothers, my people, right? Not really. He said, guys, don't marvel at this. As Jesus went up, he's going to come again in like manner. He's coming back in like manner, which is also prophesied in Zechariah 14. Talks about when the Messiah comes and steps on the Mount Olives again, that the mountain will split from north to south, and us, his bride, he will go and defeat the enemy, giving a way of escape for the people, the Israeli people, and they're going to run out, and he will save them. Then he will destroy the enemy, and then he'll be on a white horse marching into the temple. And it says in that chapter as well that his bride will be behind him, being the church. We'll be worshiping him forever and ever and ever, and he'll sit on his throne. And this will happen after the tribulation period, which is what the 70th week of Daniel is, the abomination that causes desolation. The same thing as Jesus spoke about in Matthew 24. Super interesting. It's really good stuff. I wanted to tell you that, guys, because Jesus is coming back soon. Be ready and seek God and worship him in all that you do. Stay in the word. Stay watchful. Don't miss out on what he's doing, because he's doing incredible things every day. God bless you guys. God's peace be with you. Adios.